Last Friday, United States Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said, quote, "The time has come to begin lowering interest rates, a process that will likely begin at the Fed's September 17th through 18th meeting." Markets are widely anticipating a 25 basis point cut or even 50 points if the economy looks weak and needs a stronger monetary boost. More reductions could follow before year's end. If the Fed follows through, it will likely cause bond yields to weaken further, the dollar to weaken more, and commodity prices to strengthen. When positive real interest rates, which favor bond investors, turn negative, it will especially affect gold and silver prices to the upside. But the thing is, when silver breaks out later this year or next, it will receive the same rush of attention and spectacular cash that gold is currently enjoying. As such, the price target will not simply be $29 to $31. Instead, the initial goal will be 35 or much higher. That's greater than 50% move from here, and one from which you could greatly profit if you get correctly positioned before it begins. If this outperformance continues, which it likely will, then we can expect massive silver rallies for the rest of this decade.
Connection established.
Alright folks, welcome back. I put together another incredible video for you guys and gals. If you want critical information like this given to you on a daily basis, which I highly recommend, especially with what's about to go down, then make sure you click subscribe. I will put in the hours of research for you, and I will package it up in a very nice, shiny YouTube video on a daily basis. Check out how many articles, how much information has come out in just the last few days. This article is from mining.com we're going to be breaking down. It's titled "Silver Looks Ready to Rip." Another article we're going to be covering in this video is titled "What's Hot? Can Silver Win the Gold Medal?" That's from Wisdom Tree. We have FX Empire. Can Fed rate cut expectations sustain silver's uptrend? We have another article, and this is from billionaire investor, silver investor Jim Rogers, quote, "Indian women have unbelievable amounts of gold and silver." This article from MSN.com, $32 is the next stop after a clean breakout above 30. Question mark. We have Sprott, which this is actually a video. Sprott CEO John C. on underpriced silver catching up to gold. We also have another one from thetradable.com. This is Randy Smallwood predicts silver's outperformance in the precious metals market. All of these have come out within the last 3-4 days, most of them within the last 2 days. This is an article from FX Street, silver batteries. Society may embrace faster charging, longer ranges. Then we have jpost.com, which is Jerusalem Post, Samsung silver battery revolution, faster, longer range, cheaper. This is breaking down what John Forrest Little from the previous article said. And then we can go into this article a little bit deeper, exploring Samsung silver solid state batteries, key insights and market impact. So you can kind of get an idea of those last three articles and the direction I'm going to put those all in one video. We also have another very important article from the Silver Academy that came out yesterday, The Silver Declaration of Independence, organizing a demonstration to abolish the Federal Reserve, which is a peaceful march on July 4th, 2025. This is going to be very interesting. This is July 4th, marking the beginning of a new era of financial independence for all Americans. So I wanted to cover that as well and get your thoughts on that. All of this has come out within the last 3 or 4 days. Now, these are just the articles I found worthy to cover in videos. I went through way more than this. So if you want information like this given to you on a daily basis, then make sure you click subscribe. Plus, I'll be doing a huge giveaway to my subscribers, a silver giveaway, very, very soon as well. So click the bell so you don't miss the entry video for that as well. Now, let's jump into this article from mining.com. Now, last Friday, the United States Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell said, quote, "The time has come to begin lowering interest rates, a process that will likely begin at the Fed's September 17th through 18th meeting." Now, that's going to be very interesting if this happens, because remember, like the next paragraph says, this will affect precious metals positively. And we already know silver is teeter-tottering on the brink of this $29 range, $30 range. So anything pushing it above 32. It's going to probably push to 35 very shortly after and then fall back down. But we're getting to these higher prices, allowing people to also get desensitized to these higher prices as well, which might not be the best thing depending on whether you're buying or selling. So anyways, markets are widely anticipating a 25 basis point cut or even 50 points if the economy looks weak and needs a stronger monetary boost. More reductions could follow before year's end. If the Fed follows through, it will cause bond yields to weaken further, the dollar to weaken more, and commodity prices to strengthen. When positive real interest rates, which favor bond investors, turn negative, it will especially affect gold and silver prices to the upside. Spot gold set a record of $2,531.60 an ounce last week on Powell's dovish comments. The buying trend continued into Monday, with the yellow metal hitting $2,514 and $2,525, and that was as of Tuesday. Gold's rally, which started in mid-February, is underpinned mostly by increased geopolitical risks, central bank buying, and slowing ETF sales. Now, this is a very important sentence. All of this, which is affecting gold, is all related to the economy, to the world. Gold is a monetary metal. It only flourishes when things are going bad. Silver, that also follows suit, but it also benefits and flourishes when the economy is doing good, because the economy doing good means, infrastructure is being built, silver needing more for solar panels, and, if China's economy is slowing down or isn't looking good, that could negatively affect silver because they're not using as much of it. But we know moving forwards, that won't be an issue, especially looking at some of these numbers I could show you in a second. But you guys get what I'm saying. Silver is the best of both worlds. Silver is gained mostly due to buying in China and India and so-called paper silver. Investors in July showed a renewed interest in silver ETFs, which had $300 million in inflows following 2 months of outflows totaling $1 billion, according to BlackRock's latest global ETP flows. Now, last week, the metal followed gold higher, breaking through $30 an ounce. So far this year, it's up 28% compared to gold's 23%. So a lot of people don't see stuff like this. They just see gold hitting all-time highs, and they're saying, okay, well, gold's doing great. Silver is actually outperforming gold from 28% to gold's 23%. That's a big deal. And especially because gold is at its all-time high. It's reached the peak, so it's harder for it to keep hitting that peak. Silver is just above about 60% of its all-time high. Silver was at $50 twice. So the chance of silver hitting $50 a third time is much more likely than gold just to keep scraping by, or I guess we could even say much more likely than gold doubling, its all-time high. It's much more realistic for silver to hit $50 again before gold doubles, its price to $5,000 plus. So that's also some more potential, especially given silver's other benefits that gold simply doesn't have. The general consensus is that the precious metal will continue to thrive over a longer horizon. AOTH's research into the silver market indicates the metal's due for an upward price correction. Undervalued silver. Silver and gold largely move together as both offer similar macro and currency hedging properties. While gold has hit record highs this year, silver remains undervalued, and that's kind of what I was just mentioning, right? With gold now above 2,500, silver prices should trend higher. Silver usually rallies after gold, right? It lags behind. Quote, it's mind-boggling to us that silver is still below 30. It obviously is way off of its 2010 highs, which I was just mentioning, at $50, and we would love to see it get back to the $50 level. Now, this is very interesting down here. According to Sprout Money, a breakout is coming because silver cannot continue to be so undervalued compared to gold. Using a median gold to silver ratio of 80 to 1, I don't got to explain what the gold to silver ratio is. A gold price of $2,300 implies a silver price of $28.75. If gold reaches 25, as it has, maintaining that same ratio means $31.25 silver. But the thing is, when silver breaks out later this year or next, it will receive the same rush of attention and spectacular cash that gold is currently enjoying. As such, the price target will not simply be $29 or $31. Instead, the initial goal will be $35 or higher, like I was also just mentioning. That's a greater than 50% move from here, and one from which you could greatly profit if you correctly get positioned before it begins. So according to Investopedia, during the 20th century, the average gold to silver ratio was 47 to 1. 21st century, around 50 and 70 to 1. Breaking that point above in 2018 was a peak of 104. Oh, I was gonna say what? It was 2020 when it was 100. Actually, no. We saw it as high as 125 to 1 in 2020, and that's when silver was $11. Oh, so they're saying in 2018 it had a peak of 104. No, yeah, what? Okay, well, obviously the lowest was 35 to 1 in 2011, but yeah, no, in March of 2020 it was 125 to 1. They must have just, been looking at different numbers or something, but yeah, I vividly remember that ratio. So anyways, I don't want to go into the technicals. We already know what demand says. Okay, so here we can look at some forecasts. So this is important. This proves there was already significant outperformance during the formation of the current pattern. If this outperformance continues, which it likely will, then we could expect massive silver rallies for the rest of this decade. In May, commodities analysts at TD Securities reiterated the bullish outlook for silver as demand continues to outstrip supply. Last time silver prices broke through 30, it traded to $50 in less than 10 weeks. And that's what I was also mentioning when silver broke above 30, past these 12-year highs. Last time when I was mentioning last time silver broke above 30, when it was on its way to $50 10 weeks later. So when it broke above 30, when we hit that 32.50 level, that was very important, especially noting what happened last time silver was at that same exact price. Now, they go into some interesting points, which I really do think we should hit on. The fact is, demand exceeded supply for the third year in a row now. We are 770 million ounces in the red in the last 4 years alone, and it's going to continue. It's only going to get worse. Now, who's buying all the silver? India, China, and silver-backed ETFs. Put things into perspective, it's 70 million ounces, more silver than the U.S. Mint produced in silver eagle coins over the past 3 years combined. And what are they trying to say? Let's see. India, in February, purchased a whack of silver bullion. Oh, yeah, I covered that already. 260% increase, which is from India. In February alone, the country bought 2,295 tons compared to just 637 in January, a new monthly record. So, the Chinese consumer loves silver as well, and that's been another impact. Folks, take note, a lot of these countries are from the BRICS, right? They know what they're doing. If demand for silver and solar power doesn't blow the doors off silver's price in the near future, it may be a change in battery technology that does it, like we were covering with Samsung. So even if it's not one thing, it's the other. And both combined is a surefire thing. Like, there's so many reasons that silver is extremely explosive. I can't tell you anything even remotely close that has as many things working for it. Like, if you want to be factual, silver literally, statistically has the most opportunity out of any other investment or asset. Nothing else has so many things working for it, looking forwards in terms of potential profits. Nothing does. Not even close. Not even close. So this is interesting, though. And actually, this is the Jerusalem Post recently reported, and they actually reached out to me because I cover one of their articles. They reached out to me saying that they loved my video I did covering their article. It was an article they were talking about how all this silver could be used up by 2025, or how there could be no more silver left by 2025, which is another entirely different reason that could be extremely dangerous. But another altogether unsurprising trend: China's hoarding silver and deliberately driving up the price to drain the West's resources. The Shanghai Metal Exchange seen a major surge. 10% higher than on Western exchanges. But why would China want to drive up silver's price? Because silver is an input in many manufacturing processes, from electronics to solar panels. Companies will naturally pass on the higher cost of raw materials to consumers, which could lead to a further slowdown of economic growth as China outproduces the West in electronics and solar panels. That's interesting. It's very interesting to look at it that way. So this is interesting too. China produced so many solar panels that some Chinese citizens use them as garden fences. About 80% of all panels made in the world originate from China. So yeah, we have the deficit of 184 million ounces last year. They're expecting a deficit of 250 something this year. Like, look at these deficits. The last 4 years, we have a deficit of over 700 million ounces. I'm not making that up. Look at this, 184 million ounces last year. The year before that was about 200 million ounces. So that's 300 and something. The year before that was 100 and maybe 50 million ounces. And the year before that was, let's say 140 million ounces, something along those lines. Like, we're looking at deficits of hundreds of millions of ounces per year, just per year, with a supply of around 830 million ounces on a good year, right? Recycling is only 178 million ounces, not even putting a dent in the problem. So we have about a billion ounces of supply, but demand is 1.19. They're expecting it to be up to, or I guess 1.24 billion ounces was last year. They're expecting to be up to 1.4 billion ounces next year. So yeah, the conclusion is, silver is undervalued as reflected by the current gold to silver ratio. It sits at 86-1. Has a lot of room to run. We have the supply crunch coming. So we're slowly going to see supplies tighten because industrial demand is set to go higher. If investors are also starting to buy 2 or 3 months' time, my biggest problem is it might end up being, where do I find supply rather than how do I sell the silver? And that is the exact point that we really need to think about. It's not so much going to be, silver skyrocketing and letting go. It's going, or people not wanting to buy because the price is so high. It's them not being able to buy, period, regardless if they would be wanting to buy it or not. And that's why it's good to build business relationships like myself, since I'm a broker for Andy Sheckman, which is, Miles Franklin, the most respected precious metals dealer in America, which we can still purchase through the U.S. Mint. The U.S. Mint only authorized a handful of dealers. We are still one of the only authorized dealers that can go directly from them. And Andy can find silver like no one else. He filled that $50 billion order. $50 million order from the billionaire in Texas. He filled that order in 2 days. 900,000 eagles, over 100,000 ounces in junk silver and gold. And he did it again the year after that, a $52 million order. Nobody else in this world could pull off that type of silver, especially in just a few days. But Andy can, and that's because he has so many connections. So building a business relationship with us can be very beneficial, as a lot of these sites and these shops won't be able to get silver where we will. We'll be one of the last companies standing, and if you find a direct source like us, that could be very beneficial. So you could hit me up, slayer@milesfranklin.com, or call me 330-485-6172, and I will answer the phone. A lot of people don't believe me or think, whoa, yeah, you can talk to a YouTuber if you want, right on the phone, and I will answer. Make sure it's like business related. Some people just call. I mean, I love, my clients, I love talking, I'll talk for hours with people, but it is a business line. So like, if I'm talking to someone about, what they ate for dinner last night, but I have another client that's actually trying to make a purchase, you got to remember that. Don't just call me just to talk. I mean, I don't know. Like, you can, but that's after we build a relationship. I text a lot of people, or you can just text me if you have a question or something. There's texting on my, on my phone as well if you want. But yeah, just remember that. So yeah, I'm going to wrap this video up here. If you wanted to join the Secret Silver Society, it's a secret group for silver stackers. Actually, I'm about to announce the winner of this month's, or last month's, I guess, giveaway. It was a guessing contest. Whoever got closest to guessing what silver's closing spot price would be on Friday, August 30th, won. Everyone put in their last guesses on the 24th, and whoever's going to get closest to the nearest penny wins. The month before that, we did just a bucket pull out of the hat. Every member's name was in the bucket. So yeah, if you guys want to join that, every month you have a chance to win silver, and there's the members only discussion board. It's just like a little group for group for silver stackers, and the fun part about it is every month you have a chance to win silver as well. Make sure you subscribe because I'm doing a main channel giveaway. That shouldn't be the reason you subscribe though. It should be because I will offer you guys very important information on a daily basis. Thank you so much for tuning in. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you comment. Thank you for watching till the end. Very, very much helps this channel grow. Thanks for tuning in. This is Silver Slayer. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.